What a week.
Has it been? I don't know. I've been
Um,
kind of heads down this week, so I don't know that I have a ton of topics to cover, but I'm excited to see
what have you been heading down
crazy
on?
week.
Anything worth discussing?
What's that?
What have you been heading down on? Anything worth discussing?
Something's going on. I can barely hear you.
I turned on that music. Did it mess things up?
Oh, that's a little bit better. No, you can do the music. It's just that for some reason it was garbling your voice.
Oh, interesting. Am I good now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Have you experimented with anything this week?
No, that's why I was kind of sort of heads down. I haven't really tried anything new this week that I can think of. Had several things at work and just kind of side project based as well, that where it was just like the current workflow that I have in the middle of Claude telling it to do things, which again I want to get to the next level where you're like your case there where it's just doing things for you.
Yeah. Case is going well. But in my instances where I'm not using case, I have been shying away from Pi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's all the stickiness of Claude. There's a couple of things,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they've had a lot of really cool announcements this week.
Yeah, I saw there was a few things. I didn't see exactly what they were.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's all a blur now, and they release like 10,000 things a week, so I don't
Yeah.
even know if if we've talked about this, but like, they have things like the remote control thing. You can just like start a remote control session and then continue whatever conversation you're having on your machine, like in
Yep.
that session, using the Claude app. I finally used that, and it was actually really helpful because I was like upstairs doing things, and I could just like check in on it, and it was really nice.
That's the one I wanted to try out the most. I just didn't get around to it because I genuinely like to do most of my side work on my Mac Studio,
Mm-hmm.
but that means have to be at my desk, etc. And the same things, like if I can be upstairs and just not necessarily have to use the screen sharing function of Apple, I can just use that tool to do it, and that would be pretty cool. So when you start Claude on the machine that you're running with dash remote, correct?
Yeah, or like what I was doing was in the session I was in, I just typed
Okay.
/remote control, and then it like
Yep.
turned it on for that session.
Okay, and then on the machine that you're gonna remote in from, do you open Claude there, or how do you interact with it? That's the thing I didn't go.
I was just using the Claude mobile app on my phone,
Oh, okay.
and it showed up under code right there, and I could just continue the conversation. And it has a pretty good UI for like, I was using my ideation plugin ideation skill, and like it was asking me the questions, and it had like a good UI for asking me those questions and
Cool.
getting my answers to it.
That's cool. Okay, so that sounds pretty useful then.
Yeah, for sure. Because like the thing is, you have to keep your Mac awake and connected to the internet.
Yeah.
Which like on my Mac Studio now, I have that set up perfectly because of OpenClaw running all the time. I want that to be accessible.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with the energy settings too much on my MacBook Pro, just because I put that in a backpack a lot, and
Right.
I don't want it to be dead when I want to use it.
Yeah.
So like what I'm doing right now is just using like amphetamine to keep the Mac awake when I decide to use those sessions, and it'll keep it awake for a few hours, and then I can, go to soccer practice and have the session continue on my phone, and I can just keep playing with it. That's really nice. That's like one of the things that's really nice. They also released some other things that I haven't played around with, but like it's very clear that they're cannibalizing OpenClaw at this point. Like they're just trying to do everything OpenClaw can do, but in a quote unquote secure way. So like it can do computer use now. So like from the mobile app, you can tell it to use this instance of Claude on your local machine, and not just like maintain that instance of Claude, but like if it needs to click around and move the mouse around and click buttons or type on your computer, and interact with any app, it can do that now. That's really
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Also terrifying.
These are the things, yeah, those are the ones where I'm struggle. I'm like, what would I have it do? So I got to think about it a little bit more, but I just don't have a ton of, well, I probably have a ton of stuff I should be doing on my computer that like that, but I just don't do it. But I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe I can figure out something that this makes more sense for.
No, I'm in the same boat. I haven't used it yet because I don't know what I would use it for yet.
Right.
So yeah, that's always the question. Like, now that I have these tools, how do I actually use these tools? And I don't quite have that solution or the problem, right? I have the solution to the problem, but I don't have the problem. The other thing that is really keeping me stuck, and this is like the biggest thing in Claude, and I'm trying to like figure out a way, because I really want this for case too, but like a lot of context when you're working on something, where's a lot of context live on what problem you're trying to solve?
Well, where does the context live?
I mean, just in general, like casual, info about a problem that you're gonna try and solve. Where's that live? Oftentimes. Or where does it originate from? Oftentimes.
Your head?
No, not my head, usually.
Oh, well, okay, I see. If the input parameters of if it's a bug tracking system, or am I going down the path that you're thinking? Doesn't sound like it.
Sort of. I mean, it is other people, right? And it's how do we, I don't know. A lot of work for me starts in Slack.
Yeah.
Just like having a conversation about something, or a request comes in from someone and they're like, hey, can you take a look at this? Or I get tagged in a Slack thread, that like a 97 message long Slack thread. And it's like, hey, can you do this?
That?
Yeah. And Slack has been pretty good. Their new Slack bot is actually pretty nice. Like, you can just ask it questions. And I think when you join, when you get tagged in like a large thread like that, it will ask you if you wanted to auto summarize and give you like an AI summary of the previous conversation, just so you can kind of get caught up faster, which is all cool. Whether it works well or not is, I think, like subjective on what the conversation is. But what I really love being able to do is just going into Slack, hitting right click and copying a link to that Slack message or that Slack thread, and then dropping it into Claude and saying, this is where we're discussing it. This is the work I want to do. Let's talk about how we're going to execute this. And because Slack or Claude has like the integration into Slack and Notion and Google and all of that, like I can just drop those links and it can go read them. And you know what?
It'll pull all the context from from the third-party tools.
Yeah. I have a harder time with Pi. At least I haven't. Like you can get it to work for sure. I think I need to make like a Slack bot that can then give it access to that, which is like, doesn't sound great,
This is exactly what I was talking about last week, which was Pi is the new NeoVim, where it's like you spend more time playing with the config and building up the tools that you need to use, rather than like, no, just use the thing that's sitting over there. And I mean, I get it. That's fun. That can be fun. It's a way of learning the things that you're working with in a deeper way, right? And I realize that as I get older and older, I have much less patience for those types of things anymore. And it's not a lack of curiousness. It's just I finally hit a point where I'm like, I'm not going to understand all the things that I'm using and working with, right? So it's like, what do I actually want to spend my brain power on? Where do I want my brain power to go, where it's going to provide the most benefit to whatever I'm doing, right? So and so that's where it's like, I'm gonna take that on the face, and that's how it works, and just move on and go figure out the problem that I'm actually trying to solve. So that's my only concern right now is I'm trying to equate how I feel right now with another period in my life. Excuse me. I feel like it's not as obvious, but maybe it's somewhat like this. You obviously were old enough and around to know when the iPhone first came out. Not when the iPhone first came out, but once people could start building their own apps for the iPhone.
Mhm.
There was this period where everybody had a new app. They were writing their app. There were so many new apps that you could go try. This one does this one does that, right? I feel like
Mhm.
we're kind of like that with the AI thing right now,
Oh yeah.
where it's just like
Sure.
there's so many things that are being released and they all do something similar, et cetera, right?
Uh-huh.
And at least this time I'm older and more mature and wiser in my ways of thinking. So I'm like, yep, that's all can just go by. I'm not gonna go try every little new thing, but it is tempting. There's so many things out there to try, but there's just so little time.
We're in our FARDAP era
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I don't know. This whole conversation reminded me of a screenshot of a tweet that I saw from a friend that was talking about SaaS is dead. OpenClaw replaced all my subscriptions. Went from $480 a month on tools to
Yeah.
$1,245 a month on API costs and 15 hours a week on fixing YAML files. Adapt or be left behind.
Yes. I mean, that's but I don't want to be completely cynical towards this person's the view. It's obviously a joke. There's some truth to it, right? You're trading convenience to replace something with your time, etc. But
Mhm.
hey, if there's benefits to learning some of those tools, and maybe that turns into a opportunity down the road, then yeah, it's worth it. But you got to be thoughtful about that if the time you're spending is something that will pay off down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also, but if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. So there's also that aspect of it as well.
Yeah. Well, kind of related to this subject of like, I don't know. What I kind of glean from that is like you don't have the time or the interest right now to be, to be taking on another NeoVim and curating it and spending so much time on that when you could be doing other things because you're just
Right.
at a different point in life and things like that. And I definitely feel that way too about something that I've always been kind of passionate and excited about, and that's like, I guess it's no secret that I really like Apple products.
Yep.
But like, I think they just announced WWDC this week, and um, there's like announcements coming out, and they had like a couple of weeks where they were just like announcing new products. And yeah, like the MacBook Neo looks interesting. I'm not in the market for that, but
Right.
interesting. But also, I just don't care. Like,
Yeah. I was going to
I'm to the
mention
point.
before.
I don't like new iPhone. I'm like, I have upgraded to the latest iPhone every year, and I'm just like, do I care? Do I like?
In the last 2 or 3 years, I haven't. And yeah, and you kind of call it out. You're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I don't. It's a phone. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I'm like fighting against this because I'm like, oh no, am I becoming old?
You are.
No, I'm
Natural.
not.
It's a natural process. And there will be things that you care about and you will continue to do. And there will be things that you realize are like, it really doesn't matter.
True.
And I can promise you that getting the new Apple iPhone is one of the things that doesn't matter.
But it might have a slightly better camera.
Hey, so look, I say that because, building iPhone apps is not my livelihood, right? There are people that it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, this totally
you've
makes sense.
started.
It used to be an excuse, right? It's like, I've got to get those new Apple products because
Yeah.
I'm going to potentially buy an app and I want to be able to see how it runs on it.
I just realized I'm currently wearing my John Syracuse Believe shirt.
For a product that's going to go away. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, after the experience I had at the Apple store yesterday, it makes me wonder if I should even use Apple products anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
what I was
gonna
trying
go
to
into it.
transition into. Oh, really?
Fine. Yeah. So, I got a new machine. I got a M5 MacBook Pro. Everything was fine.
Wait. What kind? M5 Pro?
Yeah, M5 Pro Max. I don't have it open right now, but yeah, it's 48 gig of RAM.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, it's one of the set menu items. It's not like it was totally customized or anything.
Okay.
The funny thing is it was ordered. I ordered it. It's a work machine. Ordered an M4, but we ordered it a week before the announcement. So then they're like, oh, you won't get it for like 3 weeks, and then they canceled the order and just replaced it with whatever the M5 that would kind of meet the criteria because they weren't exactly the same. So I actually got a little bit more. I think I probably got a little bit more RAM and more storage than what we had ordered, just because of the way things worked out.
Good. It's
But
always good when it goes that way.
yeah, no, it really worked out for me. So what I'm trying to do, let me go find the photo real quick, just so that way I can set the proper um, basis of why I was going in. So let me see if I can share this real quick. Where are you? Window. No, not window. Yeah, this one. That. Let's show that. All right. So I'm sharing something. Let's see if you can share it with everybody. All right. You see this?
Amazing.
This is the second time I tried to plug in the USB-C cord to my new power adapter for the MacBook Pro. Wouldn't charge. I was like, what is going on? And then I pulled it out and looked at that, and I was like, well, that's why it won't charge. Right? Okay. So I was like, this is easy. Right? I drive to the Apple Store. I show this to them, and they give me a new charger. So I go into the Apple Store. I'm like, hey, I got a new machine. This is happened to my charger. I need to get it replaced. And they're like, oh, okay, go stand over there, and so will come help you. So and so comes and talks to me, and I'm like, yeah, you see this? I need a new charger. I need to replace this. So they're like, okay. So they go grab one off the shelf. They bring it over to me. They do some stuff. They're like, hey, scan this with your phone. I scan it with the phone, and then they're like, okay, that'll be $109. And I'm like, no. I obviously there was miscommunication. I just got this machine 2 weeks ago. I'm not buying a new one. I want it to be replaced. And they're like, well, you need a Genius Bar appointment for that. Okay. The next available appointment is 45 minutes now. Couldn't do that. So I'll just schedule on my phone. So scheduled a Genius Bar appointment for the next day. Went to the Genius Bar appointment yesterday morning. Took in the charger, showed them the charger. They're like, oh my God, I've never seen that before. It's clear it doesn't work. Let's get you one replaced.
You think?
Yeah, exactly. They go, they're doing all their iPad typing and menu selection and stuff. They're like, I don't know how to code this. There's two of them talking. They're like, they get it coded. They're like, okay, but we're going to have to order this part for you. I'm like, but
because they're thinking they're gonna fix this, not replace it.
No, they have to order one to give it to me. I was like, really? Like, there's one right over there that you tried to sell me yesterday. Like, no, with these we have to order them. Whatever, right? Whatever. Now that just means they have to come back to the Apple Store in a day or two. Whatever. But then they're like, oh, it won't let me go forward unless your machine's here to test it. And I'm like, what do you mean to test it? We have to run a diagnostics on your machine so that we can show it's broken. The machine's okay. Go get a MacBook Pro that you clearly have in this store and plug this charger into it and see if it works. Well, we can't do that. I'm like, no, this is absurd. I was like, can I talk to somebody else? They're like, yeah. So somebody else comes over. I assume a manager listens to me and goes, it's all tied to the serial number. You have to bring the machine in. And I was just like, do you understand how absurd this is? Well, I'm sorry. This is just, I'm like, so you're telling me if I went and bought a new charger, it wouldn't work with the machine I have because of serial numbers? He's like, well, no. I'm like, okay, yeah, exactly. And you're telling me if you tried to take this charger and plug it into another machine that it wouldn't work, not because it's broken, but because of serial number. He's like, no. I'm like, so you're going to make me schedule another appointment, drive another 40 minutes because it's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back to get this fixed. He's like, yes. So I said, fine, schedule the appointment. I left, talked to my company, and they're like, let's talk to our business contact in New York because my company's in New York. They're like, yeah, don't go to the Apple Store. Call 1-800-MY-APPLE. They'll take care of it. Okay, fine. I call 1-800-MY-APPLE. What do you think 1-800-MY-APPLE tried to do?
They wanted you to ship your machine.
No, they tried to schedule me a Genius Bar appointment, which I told them, I'm like, I already have a Genius Bar appointment. I don't need to schedule another one. I'm just and I talked to the person, told them what was going on. They're like, yeah, why didn't they just give you a new one when you were there? I don't know. They're like, I can't speak for the store, but they should just give you one. So later on that day, I go to my appointment, go in, see one of the same people I've already seen before. They're like, yeah, I know why you're here. They're like, okay, can I, of course I've got to agree to all the things that they may lose my data. right? Agree that we're not liable for your data. Great, whatever. Here's the machine. They put it in diagnostic mode. I'm not kidding. This is what they did. They put the machine in diagnostic mode, and the person goes, I'm not going to actually try and plug in the charger. But they run the test that says, is the MacBook charging? And it goes, no, it's not charging. They're like, okay, now we can replace the charger. And I said, are you telling me I brought my machine in here so you could run this diagnostic test without even trying to plug it in to prove that the charger is broken? They're like, yes, we have to do this for us to be able to give you a new charger. I said, I want to speak to your manager. So I was like, I pointed at the other last person. I was like, I don't want to speak to him. I want to speak to whoever the other manager is. They're like, yep, I'll go get him. Guy comes over, and I said, look, obviously I'm upset. This entire process has been absurd. I want to figure out how I can help you make sure that you don't put other customers through this, because apparently you have zero agency to be able to do anything because you have to do these things. He's like, yes. I'm like, great. Who can I complain to help you get agency to fix this problem? And they sat there and shook their head, and they're like, yeah. They never gave me any information. Understand, totally understand. And then their response was, I just want you to know, I'm not going to use the technician's names. I just want you to know, I'm going to make up a name. I just want you to know that Ted has advocated to buy you a charger. And I said, what? I was like, no, I don't want Ted buying me a charger. No, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Ted has advocated that the store buy you a charger. Because at this point, they're like, we're going to replace the charger, but we have to order it. And I was like, this is crazy. You have one sitting over there. Why do you have to order it? They're like, Ted has advocated to buy you this charger so you can leave with the charger today. And I'm just like, do you not understand how absurd this is? I don't need you advocating for me to get a charger. You are Apple. And I get it. I assume there's some weird thing with the store P&L where it's a warranty product, so they have to order it so that way it doesn't come out of their bottom line on their store. But it's all Apple. You just made one. You wasted my time for 2 days and got me upset. And now you made me feel bad that you're giving me the charger I need to charge my laptop to do work because you're telling me that you've advocated for me to get this charger. It was absurd.
I can't believe you didn't just say thank you.
At that
no,
point,
I'm kidding.
I at that point I was like, I just want to leave. Yeah. And the funny thing is like they bring the box over and they're like, we can't give you the box. Is it okay if we open it? I'm like, yes. They opened it. They pulled out. Now we have to test it before you leave. Fully understand. Great. Let's test it. I'm out of here. I just don't understand how I don't think I'm overreacting here. How do they not understand that this was not a good customer? Like this sucked. And the other thing is like when they the first time they told me they were going to have to order it, my machine, which was at 11% already at this point. And let's be clear, I have Apple chargers all over my house. I don't need this charger. I was just annoyed that I was like, I should be able to take this physical piece of thing and take it to Apple, and they should give me a new one. It's that easy. They could have looked at my account, because even though it's a work account, I still log in with my own Apple ID because there's just so many benefits that you get from having all those things connected. They could go look at that. They could see that I have a brand new machine attached to my Apple account and be like, yep, solve this problem. And instead, they wasted my time and etc. But when they were like, I want to order, I'm like, how am I supposed to charge this machine? Well, the person that was there looked at my iPhone and goes, well, you have an iPhone. You can charge it with your iPhone charger. You just can't use it at the same time, which is true. If I didn't use it, but you're, again, missing the point. I am a customer who doesn't have any other Apple devices. I'm new to Apple. How are you going to tell me, well, just use it, suck it up for 2 days. Your laptop will probably die, but you'll be all right. It's insane. Yeah, but that was my Apple escapades, and I hate the Apple Store. I've hated the Apple Store for years. It mostly started when they told me that my wife's iMac, the problem with the iMac was that the wiring in my house was was incorrect. It's just I don't know. It's absurd. They
Well,
go to
hopefully
so
Ted
many.
advocates for an electrician to come.
Yeah, and the funny thing is there. If you go look, there's like articles out there about how there's a year I forget. It was late. It might have even been 2007, somewhere around there. They had an iMac where if it was on a surface that would conduce electricity, the stand of the iMac would push electricity through that, like enough to make the Magic Mouse do all the stupid shit it's supposed to do if you squeeze it. So my
Really?
wife was like, yeah, my wife would call support because she'd be using the computer and all of a sudden it'd be like expose, just like where it flings the windows out. And
Yeah.
she called Apple support and they're like, you're squeezing the side. And she's like, I have my finger touching the top of the mouse and I'm just moving it around and it does it. Well, you're not using it correctly. And then of course, every time I took the iMac into the store, they'd put it on their wooden desks in there and it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't do it. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the wiring in your house is not correct. It was once we finally found other people having the same problem, everybody fixed it by putting a non-conductive thing underneath the Apple stand, and then everything worked fine. Anyways,
there's
that's
that
not
Apple
AI
intelligence.
Hey, I mean, they're supposed to announce the new Siri at this WWDC, even though I'm pretty sure they announced the new Siri at the last WWDC.
Two of them.
Two of them go. So they're on top of things.
Yeah,
Apple's right there. It's not that they're such a behemoth now. The problem is I love their products, and there's no other DHH moved to Linux, and I looked at the machines that he uses, and I'm like, at least the ones that he advocated for, the framework we're in. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not all into I want to be able to build my own machine now, and I just want it to feel nice, and that's what unfortunately Macs do. I just wish Apple hasn't become such a behemoth that doesn't care about customers anymore. Anyways, so yeah, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore.
And your laptop is charging.
My laptop is charging, yes. Even though it was going to get charged no matter what, because I literally have chargers. Just can't believe that you had to jump through those hoops to be able to do any of that.
That's amazing.
But I'm trying to see if there was any AI. There was maybe we can end wrap things up on a brighter note. I did see a report. I'm trying to see where the report was from, that essentially engineering and product engineering roles are starting to go up.
Oh yeah, that was
that?
I did. I saw a tweet from Lenny from Lenny's podcast that talked about that,
which I think makes that's exactly who I'm looking at. Yep, Lenny's newsletter.
Yeah.
So this it makes sense to me. There's and we've talked about this before. There's all this, AI is going to take our jobs. AI is going to take our jobs, and maybe AI will change jobs, etc. Over the next several years. But you have to a person who understands the workings of everything working with AI can get so much more done than somebody who doesn't understand the things underneath. Don't get me wrong. Somebody with no coding experience can absolutely go build something right now. It's just at the end of the day, how successful is it going to be unless you have, that's where I struggle. It's like, there's so many things that need to happen in between there. And once things start scaling, if you have the ability and the understanding of how things work now and can work with AI, you're like a superhuman at this point, in my opinion.
Sure. But also somebody just throwing that spaghetti at the wall. Like, if it builds something useful for them, like, you know how condescending it sounds for a software engineer to be like, well, you didn't think about.
No, that's what I'm trying to. So
no,
I want you. I get what you're. Yeah, totally. I want people to build the things that are useful for them, and I do think this is the area where there will be SaaS products that are absolutely destroyed by this, right?
Mhm.
Because there are things where I'm like, I am not going to pay for that. I can go build what I need that may have 3 of the 10 features that that other tool has, but it's the 3 features I care about. I can go build that and be happy with it. And I think a lot of people can do that where it's like, I have this thing, it runs on my machine, it's for me, and I use it, and it works great.
Yeah,
That is absolutely going to, that will just be how things work. But there are, if you're building a tool or you're building, you know, things for a business, that's where our skill sets come in, where it's like, I understand how this is working, I understand how to build it, and I understand to make sure that it scales and grows with the business in a manner that's not going to be destructive. That's the piece. And there will be, every company should have people building out tools, and it may only be internal tools.
Mm-hmm.
And I think companies should be spending time on building out harnesses and infrastructure on how those things are easily deployed, so that way, you know, again, your engineering team's not being taken up by, hey, so and so in marketing built this tool they want to deploy, right? It's not for public consumption, it's just for us. You're not spending time on doing that. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting over the next several years.
Yeah,
what jobs kind of fall out and what jobs, you know, are building up to replace those pieces.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, I don't know, there's a lot of benefit of just getting an idea fleshed out. And it doesn't have to be good. It can be crappy and not really scalable.
Yep.
But like AI also makes it incredibly like incredibly trivial to refactor that into something, into scaling correctly or into the right architecture. Like,
yeah,
you can just do things and then fix it later, and the cost of that rework is becoming more negligible.
Yeah, for sure. I think another area that's going to be huge is and it's already been a big deal. I think it won't be I don't know how to, essentially ensuring that a company has a well documented and exposable design system. And what I like, because then what you do is if you have a well documented design system and you have tools around the design system, so you're, you know, Figma, MCP, whatever the tools are that AI can consume, you can have templates that allow people who are doing their vibe coding apps to pull that, say, build off this template, and guess what? The tool you build is going to match our brand and the, you know, how we want to build our tools. Have you ever heard of Retool? Oh God. Are you advocating for Retool? No, I am not advocating for Retool. Retool to me is one of the, like, those types of platforms. Yeah, I personally think are the ones that should be the most scared. Yes. Yeah. Because, you know, you don't need the no code tools to build on top of anymore. You literally just let the AI build the code, right? Yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like those tools, like anything that is I mean, I don't know, I'm a software engineer, right? So I like that, but anything that's getting in the way of me in the code is not a great fit for me. And I like equate that even to tools like Replit or Lovable or any of those where they're not for me to use. Yeah. Like a raw Claude Code or Pi or whatever is where I want to be, because I have full control over everything and everything it can do and what it's capable of right from there. And I don't have to be like, well, can I build a mobile app with Lovable? Yeah, yes, you can, but I had to ask that question. Yeah. It's not a question I should have to ask. Yeah, I was never a huge fan of Retool. I felt it got in my way. I understand that it made things way easier for somebody else who didn't. I was always wanting to work at a level below Retool was, so I would always end up fighting with it rather than. And part of that's my problem, right? I didn't spend the time to go understand how Retool wanted to do things, but it's like, yeah, but I don't want to. This is not, I'm helping somebody else. I'm not trying to build out a business with it. So, yeah, for sure.
Well, I know you got to get to a meeting soon, so
Yep.
we can start wrapping it up. I thought maybe I could give you some homework for next week. And
All
I'd
right.
like to try
Sounds
and get a
good.
guest on next week, and maybe this can be a topic with them
Cool.
as well. But one question that I want to ask is, where does, and I want you to think about it over the next week.
Sure.
Where does PKM live in the age of AI?
Okay.
For you. And I'm thinking like tools like Obsidian, pretty much. It seems like it'd be a great, the perfect match. And I hear that all the time. Like it's because it's just markdown files.
Yeah.
AI consumes markdown, and now they have like a full CLI and everything, which easily feeds in those notes.
It's funny that you asked that, because I watched something yesterday that made me start thinking about if I'm not using Obsidian enough. If I've moved away from not using Obsidian as much as I should have.
I'll just spoil it right now. I haven't opened Obsidian in months. And
yeah, I know you haven't.
I don't, and it's not like I've replaced it with another tool. Everything feels ephemeral to me, and I feel like I don't have to write down anything. And I don't know that that's the right solution, but I feel like that right now.
I knew there was a problem when you were like, "Hey, let's brainstorm topics for this show," and you're like, "Yeah, here's the Notion link," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yep. I haven't opened Notion either.
Yeah. I still open Obsidian pretty much every day. I don't put as much stuff in it anymore. And I also feel like there was a point where something broke in the Obsidian search that made it harder for me to find the things I was looking for. Oh. So this is where getting AI involved, I think, would make, like, I always wanted to build this RAG system on top of, back in the day when you had to like go through the manual process of trying to build RAG system. Mm-hmm. And back in the day when it was like, I don't want to just open all my data up to these external models. I want to run Llama locally and do all this stuff, and it just never worked out. And then lots of things released, and it's that whole game again where it's like, yeah, I don't want to spend a bunch of time learning all these other people's tools. So yeah, this is an intriguing question, and I look forward to answering it in more depth.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thanks for joining me, John, and I'll see you next week.
Later, dude.